Welcome back to Tianjin for the evening session of the second semi-final of the International Championship of 2023. The first time this has been played since 2019. The referee is there, Xie Yixin. And there is Zhang, the world number 39, who is really in this semi-final with Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's beaten O'Sullivan once already this season, being introduced. Everything to play for this evening with a clash against Ford awaiting the winner. And there he is, Ronnie O'Sullivan, the world number 1, being introduced as well to a great reception. So 4-all doesn't quite tell the story. We'll go through it piece by piece as they resume. But it is the first 9, so basically a best of 9 frames from here on in. The players locked at 4 each. So a really big day here. Prize money increases. The winner of this match is on a minimum of £75,000, with the winner getting £175,000 sometime tomorrow evening here in Tianjin in China. So the first frame of the evening session about to get underway. Zhang, who's been something of a revelation this season. He's playing brilliantly, leading 4-2 at one point. Couldn't get a lead. He had a chance to go 5-2 up Mr. Comfortable Pink. But here he is, underway. This is where we'll know our finalist in 2 or 3 hours' time. Fergal O'Brien is with me. Looking forward to this, Fergal. It could have been a different scoreline earlier.
Yeah, thank you, Neil. Absolutely. Come the end of the match, we might look back at that missed pink from Zhang as a crucial point. But as it is, 4-all, beautifully poised. And of course, as we get to the business end of this match and then the tournament, the pressure's only going to increase.
I think the general opinion would be now that, OK, he's weathered the storm, O'Sullivan, and he will go on and win this match. But if you look at the balance of play, he was kind of outplayed by Zhang for much of the afternoon session, and he's already been beaten by him once this season. So even though everything suggests O'Sullivan will improve and win tonight, on the actual playing side of things, he's still very much in it for me.
Yeah, and I think if this was last season, you'd certainly be predicting Ronnie to come back that Zhang had definitely missed the boat. But not this season, been very accomplished. Of course, beat Ronnie on the way to the final of the English Open. And again, it was obviously a big disappointment having a big lead to lose. But it doesn't seem to have affected him. Playing very consistently. Definitely this season scoring a lot heavier. He's always been a very consistent player with a good all-round game, but that heavy scoring doing a lot of damage this season.
You do wonder whether today will be some kind of a, not so much a mirror image, of a similarity to yesterday's semi-final. Of course, Jordan Brown led 3-0 and was pegged back to 4-all. But in the evening, Ford pressed on with 3 centuries in a row, played superb snooker. And it, of course, there's the chance O'Sullivan will now do the same, but he might need to. I don't think the 7 points will necessarily matter. He would like the black to have stayed over the pocket and blocked it. So that's an early error.
He'll be more concerned that the red doesn't pass into the same corner, which it looks like it does. And then if the black goes as well, nice opportunity starting off.
9.
Yeah, just playing for that red there below the black. That'll just make it easier when he's playing the black if needs be to come off the cushions.
16.
O'Sullivan has never been in front in this match. And that was, again, similar to Tom Ford until partway through the second session. So if he could get a head start here and strike the front, maybe that would be another psychological blow in his favour. Sounded like a horrendous kick to me. Cue ball was like some kind of a rock or something that he hit.
Yeah, and I think he was playing to be on the red, the bottom of the pack. Yeah.
Only offside.
Certainly lost position as a result of the kick. Still old school, using the traditional chalk, you would say. And certainly I think you're more likely to get kicks with that chalk.
Yeah, I think the problem is now he's using that old chalk. So if he does get a kick, there's nothing he can do in the way of complaining about it. That did not sound great when he hit it at all.
Yeah, with that chalk as well. Also leaves much more of a mark on the table, particularly if you're playing screw shots.
And you could tell that the pack were not right there. The red and the pink was kind of set up both to avoid the main bunch. So even though he went into them, there was hardly any chance of the pack being moved. But the early frames tonight, of course, are crucial. They all are. I understand that when you get to 9, you've got to win every frame the same. But you feel that, you know, Zhang, if you could just stay with O'Sullivan or even get back in front, then he would have a chance of winning. Clearly, if Ronnie rattles off 2 or 3 at the start of this session, then probably the match is over. It's worth remembering the kind of form Zhang has been. And he did lead 7-3 in that English Open final against Judd Trump. You know, he was ever so close to winning a ranking event just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and I think even losing that was more a case of exceptional performance from Judd. Can't really think of too many chances Zhang had or easy balls that he missed. Excellent pot, just that red on the side cushion just compromised his position to play a little piece. But again, the kind of pot that would give him a lot of confidence. Was well struck. And I think at the start of the day he would have taken 4-all, not necessarily with his 4-2 up. Now his next challenge is to try and push on and put himself in a position to win, and then hopefully cross over the line. Yeah, unfortunate there to going off. He was playing to put it obviously in that area, but played an excellent safety.
Zhang 打 4.
Trace aside just to clip the red. Didn't want to disturb the pack. Has left this red, but looks like the natural path has gone into the black, or even the red beside the black. Might be tempted to try and pot it and play a cannon on that red. That does make the pot a bit more difficult. Yeah, it seems like he's looking for another option.
I think it's a difficult balance for Zhang, given that his improvement this season seems to have come at the same time that he's become a little more positive, a little bit more forthright with his shot selection. But of course, if you don't fancy it, you haven't got to go for balls just because you feel you need to. It was awkward. I think in general, he's been, very positive with his shot selections. And that's why he's here.
I think on balance it was probably the percentage shot to play. It was a risky pot, and he felt if he did miss it, he'd definitely leave Ronnie in. So I'd say the odds were against him. Again, you're just reluctant when you play Ronnie. You never want to feel that you've taken a backward step. What you think is playing smart percentage snooker, he perceives as weakness. But again, you don't want to be too aggressive, pushing the boat out and giving him easy chances either.
Pretty good. Played it with the left-hand side to keep the cue ball down that right-hand side of the table. And, I mean, there is a safety shot back the middle red of the three, but this safety exchange, Zhang is going to have to hold his own in it and hope the chances come his way, and he has done so far.
Yeah, I think he's looking at playing a similar shot to what Ronnie played, but it's a lot more difficult. Firstly, the white is closer to the cushion and he's less angle. So you have to play this with strong left-hand side. And again, there's every chance of a double kiss.
Yeah, he can't get to that red, that middle red, actually. So he won't be playing that, obviously. If he's playing the shot you said, I think he is. It's very difficult, this. It's fair effort, I think. Probably more than a fair effort, but there is just a nagging thought that Ronnie might be able to pot that red if all else fails in safety. The one just two up. He's playing a different shot here, swinging the cue ball round. Good battle, this.
Yeah, both players looking for an advantage, looking to try and take control. Again, he's got a choice here. That's a few potential pots, none of them easy. And you feel if he does miss, there's every chance he'd leave his opponent in. And certainly looking at this one, going to try and try and stun over for the black, but very little angle. Always a temptation to overcut this, trying to force an angle that mightn't be there. It's a big red to go for. He's totally committing. Basically hanging the frame if you miss it. Yeah, it wasn't easy. Even in practice, that'd be deemed a difficult pot. But again, with his hand on the table, probably felt compelled to go for it. Might necessarily get a better chance than that, but of course, that can just play into Ronnie's hands.
Yeah, there was never any doubt about the consequences of missing that last shot. He was always going to leave something. I mean, how many times have I seen Ronnie do that today? He keeps looking at the end of his cue, going through the start. There's something clearly not right. The black will be part way tied up when potted now.
Hey.
Maybe two of the threads on his tip have just come a little bit loose. Kind of thing you only notice as you get bend down to play the shot.
No.
Can be quite off-putting just with your sighting. You feel you're looking at the little piece sticking out rather than the ball you're trying to pot.
I think Ronnie will be double-checking when this is respotted that it's on the spot correctly, so that it will go again. Because, of course, if you play a shot in the meantime and it's not on the spot and the black doesn't go, too late to have it replaced. Or respotted, I should say. So I think he'll be checking it out every time he pots it.
16. $17. $23. $24.
I don't know why he wouldn't play on the black there, I'm sure.
You presume if the black didn't go, be quickly telling the referee.
Well, that's it, isn't it? As I say, he had one shot to do it. And that was before he played his next shot. But it went the time before, so how could it not go the last time? Well,
30.
he chose to play on the blue for different reasons, clearly. Surprised he went up for the blue there. Anyway. And again, he'll make sure that it's correctly spotted. That's the first thing he'll do, I think. Because it is important, isn't it? It can happen, this situation.
Absolutely, yeah. It's important for both them, player and referee, to be conscientious because it does make such a big difference. And certainly over the years, Ronnie's certainly never been shy to tell the referee if he felt his standards could be improved.
Absolutely.
$38.
Well, it's been an interesting frame because Zhang has never really got into it. Potted a couple of good balls and not been able to capitalise on them. Tried to break the reds when they weren't really going to split from the angle he was coming
44.
into them. But O'Sullivan looks on his
45.
game tonight, and I think he knows that he'll have to find his game. I think what we've seen of him in the first session probably wouldn't be enough to win.
$52. Only offside and a frame.
Well, the break ends at 52, but an interesting first frame. Zhang they're not able to play a part in it that much. So Ronnie O'Sullivan, the world number 1, 5-4 up. Well, that possibly was a significant frame. I mean, they all count the same, but now that Ronnie has led, don't forget the 4-2, he looked like going 5-2 down. And for all the work that Zhang has done, he'll be sitting there now realising he's behind. So that in itself is not enough. So a lot of it is something of a mind game. Anyway, let's get back to how they got there. Draw through. We've got Tom Ford has been superb, and he's there in the top half through to the final, the third ranking final that he's played in. Then down the bottom part, Zhang Anda came through a section in the last 16 where there were 4 Chinese players all in there, including Ding Junhui. So he's done well to play a part in this. Of course, now he's 5-4 down. That graphic will... It's just how they stood at the commencement of the evening session. So very interesting stuff. And Sullivan might feel that he's got the edge now. I think if you were Zhang Anda or certainly in his corner, you'd be saying, well, look, you know, he's playing well enough, and you know, he's still very much in this match.
Yeah, but not winning that frame to go 5-2, again, apart from the scoreboard, I don't think it's necessarily affected him, and he'll come out and play very poorly just because of that, and he's been haunted by that miss. He always just felt that O'Sullivan was going to play better this evening.
Ten. Only O'Sullivan break.
So, one frame played this evening here in Tianjin. It's won by O'Sullivan, who's picked up 3 in a row now. His quest to get to 9. Play Tom Ford tomorrow. That is the break-off shot he's been striving for some time.
It's always amazing watching him play. He's been doing it for years, but widely regarded as the greatest player of all time. And yet he feels he can't break off well with his right hand. Again, it feels he gets able to swing the white ball round more, but if he was in that same position during a frame, the exact same shot, he plays it right-handed. So I'm not sure why he does in particular with the left hand, but I don't think he's going to change in my recommendation, though.
I think we just got used to it, haven't we? I mean, I can't see why he would do it either, but I suppose he does it because he can, whereas most other players can't. But it is unusual circumstance. We've never seen anyone else do.
Yeah, he just has to be careful here, not just he gets good white, but he doesn't push the red too close to the right corner. It's kind of hand in hand. The more pace he got on the white, the more pace to be on the red to get away from the corner. Zhang having a look there. Don't think either of those reds go. Yeah, so just left with a safety, just a thin clip. Got to be careful here if it gets it too thick. It's 2 reds on the right.
To underline the kind of season that Zhang has had, which seems to have come out of the blue on those provisional one-season world rankings, which gets you in some tournaments next year, the Players Series. He's actually number 6 on those. Picked up 88,500 points already this season, so he's had a very good season. No getting away from that.
I think all players will be very interested to see what's he been doing, what's he changed. Is it a change mental, or has he been maybe practicing more, practicing with different people?
Yeah, I don't know. Certainly, as far as Zhang is concerned, he looks more forthright in his shot selection. I mean, I used to feel that he was a little tentative, indecisive. Always a good human. He's played at the Crucible 3 times, so he's been around, but something's different.
Yeah, and I think if you're a little bit more cautious, percentages, certainly early rounds of the tournament or low-ranked players, that can work. But I think as you get further in the tournament, playing the top 16, as I said earlier, being percentage play is perceived as being passive or a weakness. You're not going to get as many chances against the top players. You have to try and take the game by the scruff of the neck.
That's true, but of course then you have to be good enough to do it as well, don't you? That's the other part of the equation.
Yeah, the theory's great, all right.
I think the way the tour is now, I mean, you're never really going to hurt a player with prolonged bouts of safety unless at the end of it you pop the balls. You know, that is a means to an end, isn't it, really? Keeping the game tight, which is, of course, what anyone would like to see. But you have to finish the job off by scoring. Nothing else will do, the way that the tour is these days.
If anything, if you're playing a player and he's a chance of a pot and he decides to turn it down, you always get a nice comfortable feeling that you know you're going to get another chance. That's just the balance in your game, without being reckless, but also trying to be positive. It's a remarkable facet of Ronnie's play, that every single safety shot, regardless of what the challenge is, plays with side all the time. Even if he's very close to the cushion, digs down, swings around. Traditionally, as it gets close to the cushion, you're far more likely to play plain ball and try and move the white depending on the contact on the red. He's just always looking to maximise every single shot and try and put his opponent in as much trouble. And again, you need some level of skill and artistry to capitalise on that theory or tactic.
Well, there's the view. I think that's always an excellent addition to the coverage when you can see exactly what the player is faced with. And while you can see reds getting back with those 2 reds on the left, they're definitely in play. because any safety shot back up the table, you've got to avoid crashing into those.
Again, does have the option if you wanted to come off the side cushion and laying on the red closest to the right corner. It's a tremendous pot. However, if he'd have missed it, we'd probably be given out saying it was reckless.
I think he's very unlucky. I mean, I don't think he's on the ping to the left middle. I'm sure he's not. I know that he's bought a bit of time there, but he deserves to be right behind the colour. It was an incredible pot. He was in trouble, clearly. He took a long time on it. I think it was the old adage, wasn't it? If you've got no pot available, no safety shot available, go for a pot.
I just think against another player, he wouldn't have played that shot. Maybe a bit similar to the red he went for in the last frame. I think the percentage shot was just to come off the cushion, lay on the red to the right corner. I don't think it was a time necessarily to look for, play a winning safety or try and win the frame from it. Again, he just felt sure if he had have missed that, that would have been his last shot. That's just the test in playing Ronnie. You just feel you have to play nearly at your limits. Of course, in trying to be aggressive and not take a backward step, you can often be playing into his hands, giving him easy openers. But it was a great long pot. And again, you can see Ronnie's in trouble here. Yeah, was able to get at the red, but just getting away from the jaws of the pocket, but also the two reds on the black cushion was the issue.
Yes, I mean, advantage Zhang with regards to winning that little duel, but the real battle is from this shot onwards.
One.
Just feel this is a very big visit. Having lost the first frame, and now he's got a chance to just stay with O'Sullivan. Just remind O'Sullivan that he is still there.
Three.
In his interview yesterday after his match, he made the point that he's really enjoying the snooker after the English Open, which was good to hear because there was always a fear that that defeat, very disappointing, could have set him back. Just playing with such confidence. Added to his belief, if anything.
Yeah, and the other thing is it could have been perceived as a one-off, that performance. Because we do see players pop up every now and then, you know, we don't really see them at the latter stages of an event, the weekend stages. But, you know, he's putting together some good performances now, one after the other. This is not an easy shot.
Green ball.
He's playing the green, so that, again, he's found himself in a position where he's got a big shot so soon after the opening one. But he's hitting the ball beautifully.
Yeah, beautiful, smooth delivery of the cue there. Went right through it. Again, Ronnie will be very aware of that as well. Not just his positive shot selection, but actually how well he's hitting the ball.
Hey.
Wow, I can't believe he played that red, Fergal. Why didn't he play the red by the bottom one of the two?
Yeah, just potted cannon, you guaranteed him on the black.
The red he played, there was always a chance that what did happen was going to happen. You know, the cue ball was travelling sort of away from the pink a little bit.
Yeah, because it looked perfect when he played the green that he'd landed in that position. As the white came down the table, you could see him anxious to be on it. And then I'm not really sure why he played the other red. Again, after a few tricky shots, got in prime position. Yeah, you can see the frustration there. Unforced error.
Well, he'd be annoyed with himself. And to be honest, he misjudged it. He wasn't even close to being on the pink. The cue ball travelled a lot further than he would have wanted. So that is, again, a chance. He just mustered together a few points there from that leave.
Does appear every few shots though. Ronnie, as he bends down, gets back up. The tip's definitely an issue with him. Particularly for Ronnie, that'll stopping and starting just affect his flow and rhythm.
Well, as Fergal pointed out, he's up again, looking at the tip of the cue. Maybe, as we were saying earlier, a few fibres just fraying, which affects some players more than others.
Trademark safety from Ronnie there, swinging the white around. Making his business to leave the white on that side of the table. And has to be careful of playing off this red. Get it too thick, you hit the reds on the side cushion. And he was so fearful of catching it too thick. Didn't hit it at all. So Ronnie certainly won that little tactical exchange. Not left anything too easy, to be fair.
No, certainly not. That was a more difficult shot than the red to the middle, which probably felt didn't offer any positional value.
He was anxious to get on the black as soon as possible. Took that opportunity. Slid in off the jaw. Fairly sure the pink is not available. So I'll have to work up black and blue.
Thirteen.
Came down to look at those two reds. How close they are to being a plant. Might even look at maybe canning in the one on the right. Potentially with another red in the middle. Playing at this red just frees the
18.
path then for the other two reds beside it.
Nineteen. $24. 25.
Well, the red's not so straightforward after the next one.
$32. 33.
Again, and another look there at those two reds, the plant, where exactly you'd like to be playing it.
Yeah, I mean, with plants, they can go wrong, and I always think it
38.
all depends where you put the cue ball in relation to the plant. I suppose this isn't the worst, cutting the first red a little thin.
Yeah, you could feel if he
49.
played a pocket weight, he would pot it, but he certainly tested there. Now, I'm not sure that should have went in. Looked like it was going to stay out.
Yeah, I felt it would. It's been a frustrating evening session for Zhang, I think. He's kind of competed in these first two frames without ever doing a great deal in the way of potting balls. You know, it's hard to quantify, but he's matched O'Sullivan tactically,
46.
but he's made nothing of his chances. That doesn't
47.
bode well. He had a chance going into tonight still, but he's almost taken a similar shape to his final against Judd Trump, where he led, as I mentioned earlier, 7-3. Where he didn't really do a great deal after that. His frame is not over yet, but it's close
54.
to being over if he pots another red.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 54.
Well, then he wants one red, and now he's going to get a chance to pop that red. Well, it's not been a classic frame, let's be honest. But at the moment, O'Sullivan won't mind. Some frames just have to get chalked up on the board. Doesn't have to be a century in it. It's not always frames like this O'Sullivan does win, actually. But barring snookers, he'll have won this one. 53 in it, so 3 snookers required, although maybe on 1 red it could get interesting with the possibility of a free ball. But other than that, he's going to be 2 down, Zhang. And that pink that he missed to go 5-2 up with the black waiting, he's looking a bigger shot than ever now.
Yeah, may well turn out that things never got as good as it was at that moment. Certainly wouldn't say he's played bad in that last frame. Got in, and really from nowhere broke down. It's difficult enough to win the safety battles with Ronnie, but you then have to capitalise on them.
Well,
Zhang has had enough there. Ronnie O'Sullivan wins the frame in the end pretty comfortably. And from a point where he was 4-2 down earlier today, O'Sullivan now leads by 6 frames to 4. So significant frames won tonight without O'Sullivan doing anything sensational, which we know he can do. He's just putting frames on the board, changing the complexion of this match in doing so, I feel. And that was quite a telling frame, I think, more than all the others for Zhang, because he did get in, he did win the safety battle, and I mean, he played a poor shot, and maybe the wrong shot on a red. Certainly it looked like it from where we were. And ultimately, he made nothing of a good chance, so he's gone away. Wonder what his thought process would be now, Fergal.
Yeah, it was a far better chance than the one that Ronnie had. And he looked like he was in prime position after he put that difficult green he cued so well. I'm not sure why he played that red. Just ran the risk of potentially could go wrong. And probably just gone out, give himself a couple of minutes just to regain his composure. Very hard in this situation to forget what had went on, not just in that frame, but earlier on. As best as he can, just forget the scoreboard. Again, rather than even just trying to play 1 frame at a time, just even break it down to a mini goal. Just try and get the first red, get the first opportunity in this frame. Start looking at the mountain you have to climb. It'll be very unsettling. Just got to try and break it down. The small pieces. Of course, more than likely Ronnie's doing the exact same. A lot easier to do when you've got a lead. He probably feels he's weathered the storm. Looking on to push on now to break the back of the match and then win it.
So welcome back. 2 frames played tonight. Ronnie O'Sullivan has picked them both up. Now 6-4 is the lead over Zhang. Super clash of the world number 37 against the world number 1. So actually having a look at the end of season rankings, which take into account all the points you've got, and they kind of eliminate all the points that will come off. O'Sullivan is down to 17 on that. But of course, there's time for him to change it. He may win the World Championship again. But on points he has got, you know, it's more a question of what comes off than that World Championship, the World Grand Prix. So, you know, he's got a bit to do, but That is currently the world champion we're speaking about. The world number one. Beg your pardon, the world number one, the former champion.
Yeah, when I look at ranking lists these days, the first thing I do is turn them upside down. Always looks a little bit better for me.
Yeah. I don't know. Certain players say they never look at the rankings, and you don't know if they mean it or not.
The lion.
Yeah, I thought that. I thought that.
One.
That's a very high percentage of those kind of shots to nothing that require smooth cueing. Again, might be a time he might roll up to the yellow, but probably feels compelled here. Has to take this brown, but also has to get it.
Seemingly quite a lot of noise behind Zhang Anda, which did not stop him, thankfully. Referee was having a stern look up a few seats back.
5.
It was noticeable actually playing that brown, how straight he cues. This will test his cueing again here.
Six.
Yeah. Lovely action. Not a lot can go wrong with it. Very consistent. We're hoping that the red can pass the pink into the opposite middle.
Well, I think he played a hold for the red to the left middle. He may have gone too far again. He's not got the cue ball under control. He's going to have to play another red, I think. The one up the table into the green pocket, top right.
Yeah, if he stuns this red, leaves the white where the red is now, the pink's away from the pack. He could pot the pink and stunned. Seems to be rolling through for the blue.
Isn't it happening for him tonight? Is it? He's kind of getting in, showing willing, and just not able to control the cue ball in the way that he has been doing.
One.
Probably the worst angle he could have. Just the wrong side. To the point where I'm not even sure whether he could power it around the angles. So it looks like a bolt colour. He's going to try and get on a red, that is.
Neal Sullivan. 1.
Yeah, it's a difficult shot he left, obviously, to try and pot that brown. Played at such a pace that you could disturb the pack. Again, careless safety shot there. For two reasons. Should have had the white closer to the ball cushion, but also left this red out. You see they're just off straight. It's just those small details. Even with the red being there, Ronnie being tight on the ball cushion, it's a lot more difficult to pot.
9. $60. 70.
That last safety shot that Zhang played, there's no way Ronnie should have had even a look at a pot, let alone so far away with the cushion. However, a reprieve for Zhang. Yeah, Ronnie aware of the significance.
I thought O'Sullivan played a good shot there. You know, he had to push that red into the bunch. It was a well-played shot, which he paid the penalty for. He's pushing that red into the bunch. And you can see his annoyance because he's let his opponent off the hook, or he's giving him a lifeline.
Yeah, he was unlucky there. Couldn't have foreseen that red going in.
1.
And well aware of the significance of it. Totally on top.
He looked genuinely annoyed there, O'Sullivan, didn't he, for the first time? I've seen that for a little while. Now, he did finish the wrong side again, and at the moment he hasn't got his cue ball sorted out, Zhang.
Yeah, you just feel swinging it round off the cushions, the green and brown are in play. And that's why he's just looked at maybe just soft stunning the blue in and leave his white.
$6.
Yeah, again, with the very first red he played, it was quite an easy pot. Should have made sure he was high on the blue. He has to be careful here, make sure he gets good position. Actually cued that very well. Again, you could see with that angle, even using the rest, how straight he cues. Again, it's a massive visit in the context of the match for himself, not just to change the scoreboard and stop the bleeding effectively, just to regain his confidence and belief.
7.
Certainly this season in amongst the balls, been very competent.
11.
Good cue ball control. Very rarely misses anything easy.
12.
After the match swung earlier, the pinky missed it 4-2. A bit of bad luck for Ronnie, could swing the momentum back round.
$19. 20. $27.
Well, having not really played very well in the two frames preceding this one, he's really now got to do something with this chance. It came about unexpectedly, I felt, with the O'Sullivan foul knocking the red into the middle. But now that he had it, if he can get this frame won, it does bring him back into the equation because he was slipping away a little.
35.
Always the chance he was going to go 7-4 down. Not sure how he could have got back into the match from there, but within a frame, different story. And he was visibly annoyed about knocking the red in. Sort of slapped the table with his hand. thought he was unlucky. Maybe he just felt the shot before. He shouldn't have been playing that or something along those lines.
43.
He's not always somebody that dwells on bad luck or worries about good luck.
44.
So Zhang just getting back to the kind of form we've seen from him, having had a quiet few frames.
51. 52.
Yeah, he'd be relieved to have got this opportunity, and then also, of course, to take an advantage of it. He just felt 7-4 was going to be too big a lead to give Ronnie. Wouldn't have been able to, with the greatest will in the world, probably wouldn't have been able to haul it back. Again, he'll take encouragement from the fact that Ronnie is battling well and trying hard, but not playing at his very best either. Certainly Zhang can't really complain with the amount of chances he's had. He had as many as you could hope for in a semi-final against O'Sullivan.
61.
And he has taken these very well. And now it's 6-5, right back in the match.
$65. 70. 76.
So from the foul from O'Sullivan, Zhang has made these. That was an excellent clearance of 83 from Zhang, and O'Sullivan, having won 4 frames in a row from 4-2 down, has been stopped in his tracks, and he now leads Zhang by 6 frames to 5. That was a little bit of a plot twist that we didn't see coming, and I don't think O'Sullivan particularly saw it coming, but it just goes to show you how one shot can change a match. It felt like that the positional shot from Zhang was the frame that changed it in the frame before. But that foul has just brought the Chinese player back into the equation. It was unexpected, wasn't it?
Yeah, very unfortunate. Ronnie, of course, if that red just catches any of the jaws and stays out, you fully expect it. Instead of Zhang putting all the balls, it would have been Ronnie. At 7-4 then, he just felt gone and in the distance. It's definitely changed the whole dynamics and feel of the match. And as I said earlier, done wonders for his confidence and his belief. Looking to stay with Ronnie as long as possible and push it towards the end. And if Ronnie was favoured at the start, or maybe clear favourite, if this goes 7-all, 8-all, it's not such a strong favourite. It's this first part, I think, playing Ronnie O'Sullivan. Obviously, you want to win. You're thinking positive. I don't think you necessarily factor in the fact that you might blow him away. I think you're more than happy to try and go toe-to-toe, stay with him, and then when it gets close to the end, make a little burst and sprint over the line.
Yeah. 12. Neal, sorry, one to quit.
Ronnie O'Sullivan breaking off in the last frame before the mid-session interval on the second semi-final. The winner to play Tom Ford, who beat Jordan Brown yesterday. He's awaiting Winner of this pairing. And it feels like an important frame coming up. Zhang and his chances were slipping away, but when the mistake came from O'Sullivan, or certainly the foul, he stepped in.
Having the white tight on that cushion just slightly restricts Ronnie's options. He would have known he was leaving this red to right corner. I think if he feels he can come around the back of it, the black, and avoid red, he would play for it, but that looks risky, not so much even the black. It looks like he'll catch the red, so no need to take that risk. Again, quite a poor safety there. Should have made it his business to avoid the yellow there. Get the white past the baulk line, close to the cushion.
One.
Those little differences, that little slight lack of attention to detail, just magnified playing Ronnie. Just seems like he punches every little mistake you make.
Four. Five.
And while he struck that very well, you can see how frustrated he is to be glued to the blue and end a break.
Definitely a few signs of frustration there, aren't there? There is no doubt about it. Yes, he's probably pleased with the run of play from partway through the afternoon session, now that he's got to the front, but he just seems a little annoyed with himself at times. Not too badly, but there's just signs that he desperately wants to do well. This is definitely an opportunity to pick up another ranking event this week. Zhang and Tom Ford stand in his way.
Came down to have a look. The potential danger in playing off these reds on the right hand side. Would he push a red close to the left? Need good length on the cue ball as well here. Yeah, caught it thin enough that not just the white travelled well, but also that red on the left didn't push any closer to the left corner. Again, just noticing there as the referee's cleaning the white, Ronnie, I think say obsessed with the tip, and I'm not even sure it might even be the tip, it might even just below, maybe at the ferrule. See, there's maybe just where the wood meets the ferrule, Could be fractionally off, might have spotted something. Seems such a small thing like that, but you'd be amazed as a player how distracting you could find that. I think a lot of players have a touch of OCD in them, and that certainly can kind of impact, just distract you. Just coming down to have a look at his options. Might be forced into going for a very difficult red. Not just a difficult pot, you feel sure if he misses, leave Zhang in again. A lot of pressure on this red if he decides to go for it. Even in practice on your own, this would be a difficult pot.
It's a very good pot though, and
1.
rewarded with an easy positional shot here. He plays the pink to the middle. The cube was heading down the table. Will it head back up the other end? It makes the pot awkward. It's not nice, this, potentially, for keeping the break going.
Only side 1.
It was a great pot, probably deserved a little bit of fortune. Was playing to glance off the pack, go over for the pink, but main priority was the pot. At least he's got that. I certainly feel these kind of frames, slightly protracted, more tactical, will suit Zhang. Even though he's tight on the cushion, still play that with a trace aside to try and swing it round. Caught a fraction thicker than he would have liked though. Has left this red. It looks like it's thin enough that if he pots it, he'll be going back up the table. Just walking down just to have a look at the potting angle. Only if he misses it too thick would he collide into another red. Again, no absolute guarantee that where the white will go, but just fully commit to the pot, let the white take its natural path. Actually was fearful of maybe catching another red. Played a very good shot there, played with a trace of left-hand side, which is guaranteed he wouldn't go near the reds, but did make the pot a bit more difficult.
Zhang 1.
Well, the roll-up was well enough played, although he has, if you're left access to a two-cushion escape. May go a little bit further down and hit a third cushion this way. It's a beautiful shot. I didn't think Zhang put him in a lot of trouble, but he did play it well all the same.
Always slightly apprehensive playing that roll-up shot. Obviously, you want it to be glued, but also trying to get it glued, you're far greater risk of not reaching at all. You can see actually from that last camera angle as he played the shot, he brought the cue back. As he went to deliver the cue, his eyes were focused totally on the object ball. Staring the red down, trying to get the ideal contact on it.
One thing that Zhang has got in common with Ronnie O'Sullivan is that in his first season as a professional, he qualified to play at the Crucible. 2010, so it shows you how long he's been around. Of course, that was the match where he was only beaten by the odd frame by Stephen Hendry. So that was a pretty good debut. Played on there, played at the Crucible 2 other times since without winning a match there. Has played Stephen Hendry since, beaten him in his second spell on the tour, Hendry's anyway.
You might be tempted to play off those reds close to the black cushion, try and open them up. But of course it runs the risk of red get pushed to a corner, but it would just free up that area. Can't you thick and swing it round? He actually was fearful of playing it thick, even if he did swing it round, pushing that red. And just glanced at it and let the side do the work. But again, good signs of his patience and discipline. There's certainly a time where he would have played it thick and been more concerned with getting the balls open rather than necessarily playing the right shot the right way. I think he's tempted with this red because he came down to have a look at the gap in between the reds to swing it round, but I think this is a better shot to play. The other red was very risky.
Feels as if both players know the importance of this frame, and it's been a brutal frame so far with Ronnie playing a safety shot, having potted red. He put the blue safe, seemingly completely happy to do so. Stayed there ever since. So it's not really a frame with as much scoring opportunity at this stage. That could, of course, change.
Very rare for Ronnie to be involved in a frame, win or lose, that seems to take more than half an hour. Just doesn't seem to get embroiled in these kind of safety battles. As good as he is, a lot of times you are dictated by where the balls go.
Well, a chance of a red, but prospects of making many probably depend on getting on a high value colour. Well, as Fergal said, these are not the sort of frames that Ronnie O'Sullivan loves. Don't suppose too many players like them, but some are more able to cope with them than others. It's a real scrap. But one that Zhang really needs to win.
Playing that safety took the red away from the black, so black's slightly more accessible. Couldn't see from the first angle where he could definitely pot the red. Looks like he just clipped the yellow if he did try. Feels he can pot it. Brilliant pot.
One.
He certainly is able to do that, isn't he? Knock in long pots, often when he's got no other safety shot. So now he's really got to do something with this chance, having been left cold for a few minutes in this frame. Long bout of safety has led up to this.
It's an easier pot to pink, but in some ways even a bit more pressure on that.
7. Eight.
I'd like to be a little bit straighter on this red.
15.
Looks like he has to stun down towards those couple of reds to the right of the black. That's the case. He has to find a little gap to get round.
Yeah, that was the problem, wasn't it? As you were saying, he didn't have a good angle there. Couldn't avoid the red. And he's made a bit of a meal of these. I was a little surprised he played on the black when he did. Could have continued on the pink spot for a bit longer.
Down dot 16.
Yeah, it's obviously a difficult black, but probably felt compelled to go for it.
I think he tried to get the blue out there, you know, just to bring it into play on that safety shot, O'Sullivan, when he hit the jaw.
Nice little flip to get. Going on the base of the stayed on the edge of the pocket would be a chance for Zhang.
Yeah, it's an odd frame, isn't it? Hardly any points being scored here. You don't really think it suits anybody in particular. But he's got to play the waiting game, O'Sullivan.
That'll help the game now that the blue is also in play. Okay, did well to judge that bridging over the green. Trace aside.
Well, making a difference that not going in off. Leaving quite a lot of distance between cue ball and object ball here. I wonder if that's a three-ball plant. Maybe if he was right behind the first red, he would fancy it. There's a lot riding on it if he does play it, but I think if he was straight on the first red to the pocket, then he'd think about it. Or he'd find it easier, put it that way. He might still play it. What do you think about this one, Fergal?
Risky, but also the fact in playing it, the angle he has, he's going to probably disturb the two closest, or maybe even all of them. And certainly if I think it's straight, once it's three balls and there's a bit of a gap, the fact they're all in the line would be quite appealing, but risky, but probably worth the risk. Of course, the harder he hits it, more likely it'll stay out.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, he could play it to just open everything else up as well. You know, it depends how much he wants to push the boat out on this shot. I mean, it's not nice. I think the fact that he's cutting the cue ball onto the red, the first red, suggests it's quite difficult, I think.
Yeah, normally we plant there's two balls, but he's to judge the connection on all three of them here.
I can't think how that could have gone any worse, quite honestly.
I did say it was risky.
Well, it was, and you would have thought O'Sullivan's patience might have run out first, actually, there in that battle. He's opened the whole game up. Probably the biggest shot of the match, in a way. The shot was tempting, there's no doubt about it, and he was tempted in a big way, but it could be the last in the frame that he plays.
Nah.
Yeah, he just didn't have to play it. It seemed an unnecessary risk, considering he was definitely bringing nearly all the reds into play.
$60.
For anyone just joining the coverage, it's been an intriguing evening session here in Tianjin, with O'Sullivan taking the first two to get to 6-4. Zhang winning the previous frame when O'Sullivan made a foul shot and he took advantage of it, knocked a red in the middle, O'Sullivan. This has been a long, drawn-out frame, but during the course of it, Zhang went for a very awkward three-ball plant. The black was in the middle of the plant. He opened everything up, and he's been sitting down ever since.
25.
Sullivan has shown a few signs of frustration this afternoon, and more so this evening, I would say. But this frame is not over. Played that well. So they did 21 points. He could take the two reds at this end of the table and be too many in front by the time the red by the yellow comes into play.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 31.
Yeah, an anxious look from Ronnie there. I was hoping that the red had gone far enough to be blocked by the pink. I don't think that's the case.
Well, we thought we'd seen the big shot in the frame when he played the three-ball plant, Zhang, but maybe the O'Sullivan miss was the big shot. Still mileage left in it now that Zhang can get back into it to an extent.
8.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit concerned. He was straighter than he would have liked, but he has enough to pot the red and get out. Again, there's always the temptation of playing the black to try and play a cannon, but I think it'd be better trying to put the white into position. You're guaranteed the red. Play the red away from the yellow.
Nine.
sure, maybe it'd certainly help if the red actually passes the brown and goes into the corner. I thought that wasn't possible.
16.
I was just going to go up and play a safety. Looks tight.
I wonder if he's got the shot, if it doesn't go, to play the snooker and move the green out. But perhaps it does go. It looks tight, like Fergal said. Yeah, that is the shot he played. I might get to see it in a minute.
16.
I wonder if he did try to be straighter on the red so he could have nudged the green. I think that would have been the big play. He's got the snooker anyway, so that's something.
Yeah, if he'd played the can on the red and yellow there, if you miss it, all you can do is play a safety shot where he was guaranteed to get a snooker there. Ronnie did well to hit it and did well to get away with it, though. Only 5 points in it, so that green ball is going to be crucial for both players. Yeah, concerned look from Ronnie there. Left this red. It's very consistent, this kind of pot. Disappointed to miss that. Wasn't doing a lot with the cue ball, just a natural angle to pot it and bring the white back up the table.
Yeah, I think had he been right behind that red, he could have probably potted it to the left middle, but he just had a cute angle to be playing from across the table like that. I wonder what Tom Ford makes of this match. His record against O'Sullivan is not great, let's be honest. I'm looking through the numbers. He's only beaten him in very short form of the game. And you know, for Tom, it'll be the biggest match of his career, whoever wins. And at the moment, it's in the balance who wins.
Yeah, good pot considering his bridge hand was compromised by position of the blue. Again, looks to be straight on pink and black. Back, bottom strong, right hand side. Again, you can see the white thrown across there and the black going into the side of the pocket.
Well, you get the feeling that the green is going to be the big shot of the frame now, and we've seen a couple already, but maybe the final significant shot in this frame 12. Neither one thing nor the other there, wasn't it? An odd shot selection, and he'd given himself no shot.
Caught a foul there.
I think he called a foul on himself there. The referee may not have heard it.
10, Zhang 4.
Yeah, to be fair, it looked like he couldn't help but foul if he played it that way.
Yeah.
I thought he should just rolled it and left the same problem for Zhang.
There were not many shots there. Well,
could have left the white where it was, and if it was difficult for him, it was going to be difficult for Zhang, but probably just an element of frustration there. It's given Zhang a great chance to win a massive frame. He has shown good patience and discipline throughout the frame, Ronnie, but it was a bad mistake to make. It just wasn't worth the risk.
Well, the shot before was the strange one, wasn't it? He either plays on the green or he plays to knock it out, but he kind of did a bit of both. Anyway, that's not Zhang's problem in this frame, which has been a scrappy one. Goes down to the black. And Zhang has won what could be a very significant frame to the roar of the crowd. This match is going quite deep, it would appear. And Zhang has won the last two from 6-4 down. We're all square at 6 frames all, with everything to play for after the interval. Well, now, that was rather a strange ending to that frame. I mean, the shot that Ronnie played on to get on the green didn't really do anything with it, did he? You don't have to play the shot that he did. But in the end, he took a risky shot, played what looked to be a push or double hit. Seeing some of the shots from the first 4 frames, but significance of those last couple of shots, I think, was everything.
Yeah, when he played the yellow, played with strong right-hand side to get over close to the green. Obviously got very close, but it seemed impossible to be able to get any sort of distance between the white and the green without fouling. Again, he just took his medicine, just rolled up to the green and, as I said, let Zhang worry about it. Again, it had all the hallmarks of going 7-4. And you wouldn't be surprised if from 7-4 it went 9-4. But again, the whole dynamics again has changed. That fluke from Ronnie, or the bit fluke when I say the bad bit of luck he had in Zhang's favour, turned it. And then even that last frame there, a slow, long, hard-fought frame. Losing those frames, it'll hurt. We'll see it again here.
I mean, it didn't look like a foul actually in real time, although I felt he would foul and he called it on himself, so clearly he's double hit it or something. Anyway, it's an odd one. An odd couple of shots there in a frame which sort of said that O'Sullivan doesn't often win those frames, and lo and behold, he didn't win it. So everything to play for. So just to repeat, mid-session interval ongoing, score 6-all. Play will resume in just over 10 minutes' time. And the winner, of course, of this match, as we mentioned, to play Tom Ford in tomorrow's final. Welcome back. We've got a very intriguing match here. Tom Ford awaits the winner of this O'Sullivan-Zhang clash. Yesterday, we saw what was a terrific semi-final, which was changing from the point when early on Jordan Brown led 3-0, and it ended up 4 each after that. And I think that kind of played into the evening session in that Ford had got back into it. Obviously, Jordan Brown started the evening really well again with a lovely break. He was scoring well. He looks to be playing as well as when he won the Welsh Open, actually, a couple of seasons back. But Tom Ford started on a terrific run of form soon after this. Had a few bouts of safety along the way. This was at the point where Tom Ford needed to make some inroads into the match. He's been a good player for many years, Tom Ford. He's been in 2 ranking finals, including the German Masters earlier this year, where he lost to Ali Carter. But right now, you know, it'd be great for him if he could win a tournament, especially one of this magnitude. This is a huge prize fund. The biggest ranking event of the season so far in prize money. And it was in the balance until Ford all of a sudden hit this brilliant run of form, which came a little bit further down the line. It's not particularly close, this frame, when we have joined it here, with the players inseparable for a lot of the evening session until things, like I say, changed. Clearly, Tom Ford's been playing well because he'd had that win over Mark Selby from 3-1 down when he won all the remaining frames. So, you know, there's no doubt that he is playing some good stuff. But Jordan Brown took the lead again at 6-5, and all of a sudden there was this burst of brilliance from Tom Ford to knock in 3 consecutive centuries, and that's pretty serious snooker. And he's always been a terrific break builder, isn't he, Tom Ford? You know, he's someone that can really score heavily.
Yeah, and actually in his previous match against Barry Hawkins, he missed an easy enough green when he should have made 3 centuries in a row in that match as well. Yeah, very heavy score, apart from nearly 280 centuries. He's also had 5 147s. But up until today, he'd never been top 16. And again, lovely time of the year to be top 16. Seeded for the UK Championships, and of course in the box seat for the Masters. And if he wins tomorrow, he definitely would be in the top 16 for the Masters, let alone the Champion of Champions and the other Players Series. So, huge match for Tom tomorrow. But this week it's been noticeable his temperament has been a lot better over the years. He'd be the first to admit his head could fall off, and to use his words. But again, he's managed to keep control of his emotions. He has been tested this week, hasn't all been plain sailing, but he's responded when he's had to, kept calm when he had to, and he's played some great stuff.
Yeah, I suppose, you know, when you say a player's head can fall off, it's not only the player themselves that know it, but their opponent knows it as well, don't they? So that's the problem, that you kind of can encourage your opponent when you're, you know, there are signs that you're wilting or you're a bit fragile mentally when it comes down to the big shots. You're giving them a clue, and maybe he's always given his opponents a bit of a G-up by being like that.
Yeah, I think I know my own experience playing Tom, that's the exact signs you're looking for. When he's playing his very best, he doesn't show that much emotion, doesn't really get frustrated. So it's very much a tell if he is getting in on himself, hard on himself. Again, I'm sure he's been very frustrated over the years when you see the talent he has and the skills he has, and hasn't managed to turn that into trophies or a higher ranking. It's 40 now, Tom, so which is not as old as it used to be, certainly in playing terms for snooker, so still has plenty of time.
Yes, and that took him to win within a frame, and well, there was no century here. He did play well to get it won again. So, all things considered, it was a really good performance, I feel, from Tom. And as I said earlier, whoever he plays in the final, it'll be the biggest match of his career. Because, you know, as I say, this is a big tournament, a chance to put yourself right into the upper reaches of the top 16. He's already in there on the basis of his 75,000 points for getting to the final, but it's 175,000 to win. Now, Jordan Brown, very good in defeat. He's a really likeable guy, but he was outplayed by a better player on this occasion. And Tom Ford wins the top half of the draw, beating some good players along the way, including Barry Hawkins, Mark Selby, and indeed, as you saw, Jordan Brown. So that's how Tom Ford has got there, and he awaits the winner of the match that we're still seeing, which is very intriguingly placed, 6-all between O'Sullivan and Zhang. That'll be back after the break. Well, this is what happened in the first 4 frames with Fergal alongside me. He was thinking that, probably like I was, that he was going to pull away, but it didn't quite work out that way. You know, Ronnie won the first couple of frames. Zhang was a little unlucky, I felt. He potted a good red there, but it wasn't quite happening for Zhang. O'Sullivan looked like he was going to pull away. I'm not sure how well O'Sullivan's playing. I'm not convinced that he's playing near his best. Yes, he's still in the event. It might be a compliment in there somewhere that he can get this far into an event looking like he's short of his best. And I don't think he's playing all that well at all, really, by some of the standards we've seen. But he survived, and he's the only top 16 player to have done so, because what we're left with is players slightly lower down the rankings. So I guess that adds its own pressure. He's not won a ranking event since he won the world title for the 7th time. So that's the problem he's got. So he's kind of hanging on. It went to 6-4, and that was 4 frames in a row, and it looks like O'Sullivan's going to pull away. There was a moment, though, which we haven't been able to show you, where Ronnie potted a red and potted a black, rather, went into the reds, knocked the red into the left centre. And it kind of changed the context of those 4 frames, because Zhang come back, got the frame 1 for 6-5. The last frame that we saw was rather strange in that it went very awkward. The balls were safe, blue was safe, bulk colours awkwardly placed. Again, O'Sullivan looked like he might win it. Knocked in a few good balls. He actually knocked the blue safe on this shot in playing down to bulk, which I didn't think was any good to him, really. But mistakes did creep in. He got a fluke here. Didn't do a great deal with it. So there was no real colours being potted with reds. So very low scoring. But then it seemed to liven up, and it looked for all the world like Ronnie was going to get this frame 1. He's got a chance here, but he missed crucially a red down the cushion. He got another chance. And here, I think the shot he played on the yellow, which again we're not going to see, was an odd one. He didn't play the cannon properly, and he didn't play short to leave the snooker on the green, and he was left with no shot. So a very interesting conclusion to the frame. We're locked at 6-all.
请大家保持安静，将手机调至静音，谢谢。First setting, Zhang dark play.
Welcome back. It is 6-all and it's everything to play for. We've been saying that, I think, for the most part, but 4-all, it was best of 9. Now it's a best of 5 for a place in the final to play Tom Ford. And it would be wide open if Zhang were to win. Of course, if Ronnie was to win this match, you feel that he would be a warm order favourite to beat Tom. Not necessarily on current form, just on what they've achieved and their head-to-heads. So all will be revealed. Just when you think one player is going to break free, it hasn't quite gone that way this match. And the last frame may be a significant one that Zhang won on the colours. I'm not sure how well O'Sullivan is really playing. I mean, I think he's playing okay. Clearly, he's still here, and you know he's done what all the other top 16 players have been unable to do: stay in the event. They've all fallen by the wayside. But I just don't think he's in anywhere near the form of his life. Put it that way.
Yeah, I think he was playing better at the start of the week. I definitely think his form has dipped. Just get a sense that he has kind of peaked. He's over the other side of that, desperately trying to cling on and extract whatever's left. Particularly for him, if he's not playing as well as he likes or wants, can be frustrating. But with the exception of that shot he played on the green, the last frame, which I have to say was a bad shot, he has been patient and disciplined. Again, he came out the week before, which is very good, particularly at the start of the tournament, to get used to acclimatise, get over the jet lag. However, we've seen in the past with Ronnie, sometimes if he's away too long, he can get a bit fed up. Homesick, effectively. Again, he's just got to remind himself of the importance of not just this evening's play, but also tomorrow.
I guess with O'Sullivan, he's won 39 ranking events, and they've probably become more difficult to win. I mean, he's won, well, I was going to say nothing. It's not really a fair way of saying it, but he hasn't won a ranking event since he won his last world title. He's won in Shanghai, and he's won the Champion of Champions. He's done a lot of things. But as far as ranking events, since he won that sort of memorable 7th, he hasn't won one. So this is an opportunity. And they don't come around all the time for any player. But as I say, there's a suggestion that he isn't playing all that well, and he's playing somebody who beat him the last time they met in a short form of the game, best of 7.
Yeah, the longer Zhang was able to stay with him, stay level, the better he more felt increased his chances. it's fair to say. Couldn't really see Zhang winning this match 9-2, 9-3 comfortably. You definitely see him winning it, but you felt he had to stay in. Not just at the start, but also the middle part, which he's done. Now we can look to try and make a last push for the line. Could have went a lot better. Seems sure he'd be left on a choice of easy reds. Has choices, but awkward queuing. Can you see the shake of the head there?
Yeah, you don't see much reaction from Zhang in that final he lost it to Judd Trump. I can think of just 2 balls he missed. He missed a blue to middle, and he missed a shot with the rest into the right corner. But when he missed the rest shot, his head went down. That was late in the match. But most of the time he doesn't show much. But he was disappointed to finish there. He's awkward now. He didn't like it, did he? You could see that.
Yeah, and just made it a little bit more difficult by the fact he knew he should have had something a lot easier than that. Certainly a let off there. Be frustrated, gone back to his chair. Very nice wriggle in. Once again, a ball colour. Looks like he left himself a straightish blue. Just coming down to see where exactly he'd like to be.
Six.
That's not the most straightforward of shots with the other red. Not quite in the way, but in his eye line. The red to the right of the one he's going to play. Yeah. It definitely added to the difficulty of the shot. I think had the other red not been there, he'd have easily played up on the blue.
Yeah, definitely struggling a little piece, Ronnie. Again, Zhang has to take advantage. Not that easy red to start with, but crucial.
One.
Well, he must be getting the vibe that he can win this match, surely. Certainly the way that O'Sullivan is not scoring any great weight right now. It's an opportunity, and a big one.
Seven. Eight. $14.
See, the red clearly goes. Just looking to get at it. Not so much the pots, not these shoots. Can he get away from the reds, get on the next colour?
15.
Miscued that. Couldn't possibly try to play it that soft. Left himself a very tricky pink.
Played it quite well. I mean, I don't suppose he could have held it much more than that unless he went to the bottom of the cue ball, which would have made it an all good pot.
21. Two.
Took advantage of having the red up and balk. Try and
28.
put this red, get a colour and try and get back in close prime position again. Control that well, just to screw across the face of the yellow. Okay, just going to look down and see exactly where I'd like to be. Looks off the green is a natural angle, just before the middle pocket, and come down, get past the pink. If we can get in perfect position, minds his work, could be a good chance. Rather than placing them precise, decided to go into them, try and develop them a little bit better. No guarantee that would be any better.
Yeah, slightly awkward cueing. He's got to sort of bounce it off the cushion, so he's got to play it with a little bit more pace. I think the harder you have to hit those the over a ball, the more chance there is you'll miss it. But it went.
Yeah, lovely shot there. So to work quite hard so far. He's now in prime position. Should win the frame from here. Again, a good example of his testament, to his temperament. Hasn't been ideal, but slowly but surely just went about his business, stayed calm. Should have had an angle on the pink. Had to, because he was straight, had to roll it in a little bit further away from the red. Have to screw across with the pink. Doesn't want to be playing any cannons, ideally.
.47.
Yeah, it wasn't so much that. Should have was the previous red from point blank range should have guaranteed an angle on the pink.
Here's the situation, isn't it? That he might be better off putting the ball safe than trying to continue the break. I'm not saying for sure that's the right shot, but it was worth perhaps considering putting the colour onto a cushion, because these points he gets, unless he can follow it up with more, might not mean a great deal. Only time will tell on that. I mean, he may pop this red, so clearly in that case he's played the right shot, but he could do with the ball on a cushion somehow.
.53.
Yeah, good putt there.
54.
Seemed very reluctant to try and leave the table. He was desperate to try and win the frame in this visit, particularly with the good chance he'd had.
Yeah, terrific pot, Fergal, wasn't it? You know, I mean,
There was pressure on it.
There was pressure on it, and he is trying to play the attacking game, isn't he? That's, I think, one of the reasons why this season he's so improved, because he's trying his best to be more attacking in options, even under pressure.
Yeah, if we played the brown here, it'd be 60 ahead. Only requires snooker. This green is 59. Again, it was an absolutely guaranteed position. And I'd have definitely played the brown there. 60 ahead, he definitely needs a snooker. Even if you played, couldn't quite have a pot. Played a telling safety. And despite the glance in the blue, was on the red.
58.
And he's taken these well. Six-four down, he was under pressure. Possibility the match could get away from him. Now, different kind of pressure leading 7-6. Can he push on? Get to 8 and then, more importantly, get over the line to 9. Looks very calm, very focused. He's still playing positive, decisive shots. That will be tested even more in the next few frames.
Yeah, I think you're right. It will be tested, but I do actually think that somewhere along the lines, the scrutiny is on O'Sullivan. Wouldn't be the first time, of course, but this time on his game. You know, he's kind of let Zhang off the hook a little bit. He's done all the work to get all those frames back. At 6-4, it would be hard to think. You know, there would have been. He's been a brave person to have thought that Zhang was going to come back and win all these frames 3 in a row, because it didn't look likely. But he's done it. So there's pressure on both of these players. There's a huge ranking title up for grabs.
79. I
suppose for the drama, we'd like to see it go to the final frame, but certainly Tom Ford would like to see it go 9-8 and the next few frames be as long and slow as possible. Just take more out of their energies for tomorrow. Of course, Tom had that day off, which is definitely an advantage.
89.
That bit of luck that Ronnie had at 6-4 up, potting the black. And the red going into the middle. It's changed the whole momentum, dynamics of this match.
It has, and you felt at the time that he was aware of that, probably more than most other people, because he seemed really annoyed when he didn't make the foul. Potted a red when knocking the black in. Red one in the left middle, and that was that. Now, all these frames on, that's a century break from Zhang, and he's getting some good support here. Ronnie's always been seemingly the number 1 or number 2 behind Ding Junhui in popularity. Trump as well, but it's a chance for a Chinese player to beat the great man, and he's getting very well supported. And Zhang Ande has won 3 frames in a row, and he now leads O'Sullivan by a frame. Yeah, so this match is taking a new turn now. Just when you thought you'd read the script of Sullivan winning all those frames, pulling clear, Zhang finds himself back in front. So it's a... I mean, the pressures are on both players, Fergal, I would say, for different reasons.
Yeah, there's a level of frustration for Ronnie. Bar a bit of bad luck with being 7-4 up. He knew he was on top. He had his man where he wanted him. Again, not that he'd be disrespectful to his opponents, but looking on to play Zhang and in the semi for Tom Ford, who hasn't won a tournament in the final. You definitely see as a great opportunity to win another ranking title that can add to its pressure. And on the other side now, Zhang, I'd say the first 2/3 of the match he's done well. He made a good start, he's competed, he's taken it to the distance. Now can he just push on? Biggest win of his career. Obviously been in the final earlier this season, but to beat Ronnie to get into another final with even more ranking points and more money in China. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him. He looks quite calm at the moment, but he's going to be severely tested. Not just his game, his emotions, mental state, character. Of course, Ronnie has all that experience of these situations to fall back on, which is obviously an advantage and a crucial frame here.
Frame 14.
Frame 14, Ronnie O'Sullivan
Oh, Neal,
needs
sorry.
to pick his
Okay.
game up. He's trailing now 7-6 in the race to 9 for a place in the final tomorrow against Tom Ford. I think we need to wipe the scores off from the previous frame there. It's better, and it's getting very interesting, just the whole dynamic of this match. Zhang, of course, had a very healthy lead in the final of the English Open, 7-3 over the same distance against Judd Trump, and eventually lost. Can he convert this lead now against O'Sullivan, who he's already beaten? He beat on the way to that final. Ronnie's game, perhaps at the start of the week, was sharper than it is now, but can he find something from his reserves to get through to the final of this? He's playing a lot of very ragged shots, and that was another one.
Yeah, definitely last well. Lost his discipline and patience. Again, the scrappier the frames go, you definitely feel now that's to Zhang's advantage, particularly with this lead. Yeah, both players be desperate to play the red from the side cushion, playing back into balk, but there's a good bit of cover there between the yellow and brown, which makes these safety shots a bit easier. Took a little bit of a gamble there. If you played it thinner and tried to keep the white on the left-hand side of the table, it was more or less guaranteed to keep it safe. But again, trying to force the issue a little piece. You just get the sense he doesn't want to get bogged down in a long frame. So I'm just seeing this, if he left the white close to that corner pocket, what kind of shot Ronnie would have on that red that's closest to the left corner. I'd be tempted this red in the baulk end to, yeah, this is what he's playing. Screw back, let the red come down, collide with those three. End up catching the jaw of the middle pocket to hit those reds. His main priority is to try and get the white back. Again, you feel Ronnie, if he does decide to go for red, he must make it. Yeah, opting to play safety from the red near the pinks, but I think it's the right shot. Get a good length, avoid the ball colours. Yeah, it just wasn't worth the risk.
I guess if you're going to beat Ronnie O'Sullivan or attempt to over 2 sessions, you've got to compete in all departments. And that was another good safety shot that Zhang has played. He drops off the tour in 2020. So he's back on, I think, for the 3rd time. Couldn't come over and play in the World Championships that year, the one that was played in August due to COVID. And that sent him off the tour. So he's done very well. He's turned everything around in the last 3 years, back on the tour. And this season, well, he's been a revelation.
Couldn't be sure where the white would go, just to totally commit to the pot.
That just slightly rolled off at the very last second. I think that would have gone in had it kept its original line.
Found that one.
So it kind of feels like we really restart the frame. Another little mini game here to see who puts the next red. Got red too thick. Again, more or less as soon as he played it, Ronnie was up off the shot. Just a very important passage of play coming up. Zhang has the lead, getting close to the winning line. His opponent has gone off the ball slightly. Must capitalise on this.
One.
Beautifully played.
6. Seven.
Well, it's almost as if this match is being played on the terms laid out by Zhang and safety battle, no rush. He will play the big shots when he needs to. And, most of the time matches involving O'Sullivan are dictated to by Ronnie.
12.
But he's kind of keeping him in his chair and keeping him looking pretty subdued, it has to be said.
$13.
Not perfectly placed on this next blue, though.
$18.
Yeah, it was a good pot. Played it well. Found the
19.
gap around the back of the black. Up for ball colour. Took a little bit of the pressure off by playing for ball colour. The problem was next red. The red above the black spot don't think goes to the right corner. That's why he's coming down to see is there other options. I'd be tempted to try and play into some other balls, try and disturb them, get something out in the open. Yeah, that's what he played.
22.
But good start to the frame. 23 ahead, obviously not a huge lead, but starting to get
22.
control. I would set a very careless shot there. Should have been nowhere near the green.
I wonder if at any point Ronnie O'Sullivan is just going to think, right, this is not working for me. I'm getting bogged down, and he'll just play with a little less pressure on his shoulders, just free his arms. I've seen him do it before. It may not be quite at that point yet. Sometimes it'll happen when someone is on the brink of losing. He's not quite on the brink of it. But you feel he has to make things happen. He's a little unlucky if he's not on that bottom red. Maybe he is just on it. Must be tight.
6.
Trace of left-hand side.
7.
And a shot that looked to hold there. So he's certainly a chance of getting back into the frame, but with those four reds where they are, it's difficult to know exactly how many he could make here.
14. $15. $20. 21.
Seemed to get a big bounce off the cushion there. Seemed to have taken a bit by surprise. Makes the putt a fraction more difficult. It's only break at 23, but he's worked very hard for it. It just highlights how careless a shot it was by Zhang to let Ronnie in for this chance. I say chance, Ronnie's made it a chance. As I said at the start, it's only a 23-point lead, but considering where the other balls were, you knew Ronnie would have to do a lot of work to try and overturn it and win the frame.
51.
Definitely picked up his pace of play, Ronnie. So that the referee's going to have to pick up his pace of his game as well.
He's got the angle to get into the reds here. Yeah, I mean, he was getting nowhere with how the way he was playing. Seems the balls have stopped him from taking this break any further here, though, because he can't get to the red out in open play. So some green shoots of recovery from O'Sullivan, but it won't take him anywhere near winning the frame.
Neal, 31, 39.
It just got it a little bit too thick. As a result, the reds come back over towards the corner. Cued that well. Then just play the plain ball. Didn't want to jeopardise the pot by trying to play side. Just tried to pot it and let it take its natural path. I'm not sure if he has the angle to pot in the black, avoid the green, come back down towards those three reds. Again, of course, in trying to avoid the green, could potentially hit the pink as well.
It's potentially a huge moment, isn't it? I mean, if he could get the frame on there.
Yeah, he didn't have the angle, of course, of the black to swing around, glance the brown, who just added to the pace of the white, and then got a beautiful little cannon. And of course, in potting this red, the red beside it also goes.
Well, that's right. He didn't have the angle. He also didn't have the first clue what was going to happen. What happened was it's given him a chance from absolutely nowhere. On that black, it looked like there was no way he could get near the reds. I mean, it's shots like that, which, you know, if you're on the receiving end, make you wonder if this isn't going to be your day. Especially if your opponent does take advantage and win the frame, which is not certain. And also, if you get one of those, you can think, well, okay, this is an omen that things are looking good, because it was an amazing kiss, really. Don't think he's developed that to be able to pot it.
22.
Wonder if he could have played that in a different way. The red was a little bit away from the cushion to play the cannon. He usually just slipped past the edge of it, and he didn't hit enough of it anyway.
22.
It's another frame that's going to be decided on the colours.
Just an anxious look to see, can he hit the red, and if so, how much of it? Did that very well. Could have easily left the red close to the right corner. And got the bonus of being behind the yellow.
It's not easy to hit this one, is it? Because you've got to go twice across. The black's in the way of the one cushion escape on the left side. Well, that's not how he wanted it. He's left a free ball. He could have. It couldn't have gone worse, actually, that shot. I think Zhang's shot was decent to get behind the yellow, but he just covered a lot of the options for the escape as well.
And of course now, if he puts the black as a red, another black, red, black, that'd be enough to... I mean, Ronnie would need a snooker. It's perfect from what we've seen during the week. Player gets close to this kind of red, close to the cushion, plays it slowly enough. The vast majority of them have went in.
Yeah, that's right. I think close enough depends on the angle you've got on the red, though, doesn't it? If you're straightish, you've got to force it, which brings about the chance you might miss it.
Yeah, it's missable. Maybe now he has to run it through off two cushions. If he decides to play for the black, could of course just stun it in, play a snooker. Just enough an angle to force it out. The tables are on the general side. I was just that bit more comfortable playing that shot. Feels a little bit more margin for error. Of course, now it just needs the black to be 29 ahead.
Well, it's another big turnaround in this match, these last few frames, just the way they've been played out.
16.
You do wonder what O'Sullivan's got left. Has he got one more burst? The kind of burst of form
18.
which saw him win those frames against Mark Selby, for instance, in the World Championship, the last three in the 2020 version. In other words, just go out and sort of go for everything and knock them all in, because right now he's being sort of bossed out there by the way this match has been played out. I think Zhang has had a little bit of luck, but I think he's also deserved to be in front.
25.
Yeah, I don't really see Ronnie trying to tactically outmaneuver his opponent in the next three frames if he is going to win them. I think his
30.
shot selection policy will be very similar to that time he referenced against Mark Selby.
So it's another frame for Zhang Anda, who trailed 6-4. Now he's 8-6 up. He's one frame away from being in tomorrow's final. Well, that's an amazing turnaround. And I think there was one moment in that frame, actually, I don't think we're going to get a chance to see it, but where Zhang was on that black, and you pointed out why he couldn't get up and down. There were some balls in the way, but it felt like it was a real game changer. So we're seeing a few shots that probably won't be anything to do with that one, but the way it worked out, felt like one shot might have turned the whole of the frame. We're seeing shots from much earlier in the match now, which, as I say, not a great deal of help to us, but that one shot, Fergal, felt like a big one, didn't it?
Yeah, massive piece of luck. He did have that big slice of luck as well at 6-4 when Ronnie part of that red. Again, 8-6. No guarantee, of course, he will definitely get a chance, even though there's 3 frames left. Certainly no guarantee he'll get 3 chances. So he'll be anxious first chance he gets to try and, you feel if he is going to win it, take a chance. He's more likely to take that chance at 8-6 than, for argument's sake, if it went 8-all. Of course, if he doesn't take the chance to win the first time, you know, Ronnie will get confidence from that and strength from that. If he'll deem that as weakness, he might get stronger himself. So
it's almost like there's one more chance for O'Sullivan, one last roll of the dice, isn't there? We'll see how that goes. Anyway, the next frame will be up shortly. So more commentary.
Play 15, Zhang dart play.
So 2 up with 3 to play here, Zhang. And that wasn't the start that O'Sullivan would have been looking for at the beginning of this frame. This could be a re-rack. It's very early to call it, but Ronnie looking to take the cue ball away from there.
we're looking to leave the white in a similar position, that side of the table, get covered with the yellow, blue and pink. Doesn't want to go off.
Foul.
A bit unfortunate. So there's a possibility it could happen, but
Long Neal, Sullivan,
not
4.
enough to prevent you from playing it. The very thing he didn't want was to leave Ronnie an easy chance.
I guess it was an easy chance, though he had to make sure that plant, playing it up the table like that. I suppose the fact that he's in first, I mean, if he is going to make a comeback, I think he needs a quick kill in a frame. I know that nobody ever didn't need that, but just to almost make his intentions known.
Yeah, if you can't get a frame or two on the board, I feel then if Zhang gets a chance, it'll just be harder to take that chance at 8-all
4.
rather than 8-6. If he gets a chance, of course, there's no guarantee. He'll get 3 chances because he's playing 3 frames, let alone 1. He's just got to be ready in his chair.
Yeah, I think if you're Ronnie, not only has he got to win these frames, obviously, he's just almost got to play himself back into form here on the match table, hasn't he? He's got to just try and see how he's queuing, start off fresh maybe, put his arm through a few shots, and if they start to go in, you can always play yourself back into form. It's unlikely as it would seem under pressure. But look at that shot.
11.
This is the problem. It's just not happening for him. It's just not happening for him. Yes, you'll say it's a bad shot to finish there, but you could play it again and you'd never finish halfway behind that red on the black.
Yeah, Zhang would be relieved there. Probably would have feared the worst. Very good pot. Had a natural angle to come around the back of the black, but still needs to be struck very well. That type of shot, playing above centre striking, shot to nothing, that's a very high percentage of. Ramrod straight cue action. Certainly working for him this evening. Referee cleaned the white also gives him extra couple of seconds just to calm down.
3.
Very easy to get ahead of yourself here. The red that hits the bottom of the pack, you feel if in a shot or two he can get on that, low on it, that could be the key to the frame. I think you play for the other red to the right corner now, just to free up the path.
Well, he didn't get all that close to the cannon. I mean, you called it, and that was the shot, clearly, but I think he stumped it a little bit. He sent the cue ball quite wide, and it was a pretty big target to make contact with those reds.
Yeah, but didn't even have to play the cannon. I think he could have played it in dead weight. He still would have been on the red to right corner, pot that, and then go for a plan of attack there. Definitely a let off.
张打 11. Power miss.
Everything's going wrong for O'Sullivan here, and he may not have these put back. It's been a frustrating day, and it's not getting any easier as we move into this evening session.
One.
So a little bit later than expected, he is low on this red. He was able to pot it, disturb a few reds and get on the black.
Nine.
Would have liked to have gone through a little bit more. But yeah, you can just play the black slowly. Pretty sure if he plays a pocket away to be on one of the three reds.
Well, that's played a lot better. That cannon was beautifully played, and now he's at the point where he might just be able to see the winning line somewhere in the distance still, but
16.
edging closer.
Maybe he did. I thought he might have tried to be lower parallel on the black. Felt sure if he cannons into the five reds, he'd been on the one to the right. But that can wait for a couple of shots. Did you feel it's just a nice split away from having the match in his hands? Great chance.
25.
A bit short again. Again, doesn't have the insurance of having the red that he had previously. Doesn't want to be straight on this
32.
red. Wanted to try and have some angle to get high on the blue.
$33.
It's always going to be far more difficult from that red to get ideal on the black. I definitely think he missed a trick earlier on in this. Should have been parallel with the black. Went into them with one or two of the open reds.
I thought he had the chance to go into them directly there. There wasn't a huge angle on the black, but I thought there was enough to nudge them.
40.
That way he played it. I don't know if he could have got into the reds. Anyway, he's got a very handy lead.
Zhang 40.
Well, Ronnie has not been able to do anything right today, and every mistake he made has been magnified, and that might well be his last mistake.
One.
Yeah, he couldn't possibly dream of a better opportunity than this. Even under this great pressure, you still feel sure you'd do enough to get over the line. Again, really good performance. To be fair to him, you wouldn't say he's played his very
6.
best. Neither is Ronnie, of course. 6-4 down, got a little bit
7.
of luck. We took full advantage of that. In the second ranking final.
Yeah, and they're both in the space of a few weeks, and he's beaten O'Sullivan in both of those finals because he's going to win this match, it seems. Just got A little bit more to do to make sure, but that will be pot this. I think Ronnie already feels that he's beaten now.
12.
54 ahead, and you feel that while that was frame ball mathematically, the next one will sign and seal the win. He had a
13.
point in the middle of the match where he lost his way a bit, quite honestly, early in the evening session, because he was 4-2 up. And then he lost a block of frames and he responded with all the remaining frames from 6-4. And the other interesting thing is his opponent, Tom Ford, who tomorrow, they've never played each other, which I found amazing. Been a pro 13 years, Zhang Anda, Tom Ford a lot longer, but they've never met. Now they're going to meet for the first time in a big ranking final. So that's that. What a shock result we've seen. Very gracious in defeat, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Zhang Anda has beaten him for the second time this season, but more importantly, he's reached the final of the International Championship, and that is a huge event. And tomorrow is going to be as big as it gets for Zhang Anda. Chinese player in the final against the Englishman Tom Ford. The Rocket beaten, waves goodbye to the crowd. No doubt we'll see him again soon. But today is about that man, Zhang Anda. Well played. Into the final and deserves his opportunity at the biggest level. How about that? A real turn up today in the end, the way things went. So Zhang Anda will play in the final tomorrow, 6 AM. It'll start in the UK. It's the best of 19 frames. Tomorrow's going to be very interesting. Two finalists you couldn't have imagined. It's the first final between two players who hadn't been in won a ranking event since the shootout earlier in the year. Chris Wakeland beat Julien Leclerc. It also happened in the Scottish last year with Gary Wilson beating Joe O'Connor. Neither of those had ever won a ranking event either. So good words from O'Sullivan at the end there. Zhang Anda creating a big shock